Well, hello again, and I say that because, believe it or not, I recorded this video already, and for some reason, the the screen record said it could not save. So very interesting. First time I've ever had that happen, and believe me, I had plenty of storage space. So I do not know what happened. So I'm going to try it again. But lucky for you, this one will probably go quicker now because I'll be trying to rush through this. But I also have to try to remember everything I said. I did go over the front part of this more in yesterday's video, so if you want a more in-depth video, you can see that. Now I'm just going to show you the updated numbers that I've updated today, but just a reminder before I go forward. Well, first, my name is Corey, if I failed to say that this time. I am Happy Camper with Dividends, and I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. So, if we get into this, we're looking at this pay period right now, which the last declaration date was March 13th, and the day before the next declaration date will be the 15th. So the data on this line 5, will include all the data between those dates. So with that said, that means what declaration is next Tuesday, the 16th. So the next ex-dividend date is next Wednesday. And you have to own, in case you don't know, you have to own the shares before the ex-dividend date to get the dividend. But if you want to wait until the day on ex-dividend date, the stock does drop by the amount of the share. Of course, that's at like the 4 o'clock in the morning price. So depending on what brokerage you have, you may or may not be able to buy it earlier in the day, which may or may not be good. It depends on if it's a green day or red day. If it's a green day, then yeah, you'd want to buy it first thing in the morning. If it's a red day, you'd probably prefer to buy it later. So you just never know, right? But let's see. So before I get off track too much, the short call premium so far during this period is 4.1 million. Right now our outstanding shares are 2.9 million. We've received $1.41 earnings per share for the short call premium only. That does not necessarily mean you're going to get $1.41 because I'm not sure how to go about even estimating this one at this point. For the single stock ETFs, this last time we did it, the estimates or the distributions were either close to the last distribution or the IV calculation that I had as an estimate. It was not actually, it was closer to those than it was to the short call premium or the short call net trades or all trades or any of that stuff. So obviously here we don't have one single ticker to be able to look at IV. We have lots of rotating tickers, sometimes daily. So that there's no way to do that, and we've only had, like a half of a distribution, a half a month. So if we went based on that, which was 10 days, like $1.06.50, maybe somewhere around $2. This period we will have 23 days, but to just show here, we can see if we look at all the net trades, by the way, for all the short calls, it's 54 cents. So I just sort of have that range on the sheet, 54 cents to $1.41, because that's the short call range between the net and the premium. Again, does not necessarily mean that's what will be paid out. But you see we've had large losses on the synthetic and especially on the stocks where we held the underlying stock. So this period we've had negative $10.7 million loss. And you can see over on the right here, I guess I should have zoomed in more. You can see that those first 10 days we lost $1.18. Of course, we're more into that with this one, so I guess $1.60 isn't bad if we compare it to the last time in the number of days, but we are going down. Of course, we've been between that $17 and $18 range now for a few weeks, but I know that this owning the stock and then selling it at a huge loss was not good. But so we're down. Whether they'll pay out a $2 distribution, I don't know, because at that point we may be down at $15. So I just don't know. But I do know, yield first, right? So we will see what they pay, and then we'll get a better idea, maybe, and maybe not, on what to concentrate on here. So anyway, we have about 4 trading days left, about 83% of the way through. And if we just move over here, so usually I do the summary at the end, but I was going to do it up front real quick. You can see here, this just shows where the total holdings are, the weightings, the date they've been added to the portfolio of ULTY, their initial IV, current IV, and the ranking of their IV. So if we look here, we did add a couple of new ones. We have Biohaven Healthcare. It's obviously biotech stock. And then Enphase, there it is. Enphase Energy, solar industry stock there. And then if you want to see the rankings, you can sort of see we have Root at 154%, MicroStrategy 129%, and CleanSpark at 125%, with the lowest being number 20, VRT at 73%, Wayfair at 78%. All right, we'll just move over here if you want to see a little roll up there by sector. Financial services, tech, consumer, cyclical, and healthcare. And then we're going to zoom out just a little bit here. The big thing that I had noted when I did this video before was the significant jump in the outstanding shares. So we've done 550 has been the biggest jump since we started here, and I looked it up on the YieldMax video or worksheet that I'm working for the estimate video there. March 14th, I believe it was, the ex-dividend date for these. So let's just look back at here. Yeah, so March 14th was the YieldMax ex-dividend date. So people bought in on the ex-dividend date versus trying to buy it before and then just allowing the stock to drop and get their money back days later. And then to point out here, most people would have got their payouts for the single stock ETFs if they had, Apple or Tesla or whatever else. Most people would get it on this date. Some others will get it on this date. I know that's me because I have Moo, and I think Webull also does that. There may be a couple of others out there, but I'm not sure. If you have Fidelity or something, I think you get it exactly on the date. So just to point those out because, that's a significant jump. Like I said, we had the 550 here. We had a lot of buy-ins around in here. And then we were dead there for about a week or so. And then, of course, we're getting close. We're having a lot of buy-ins again, but 550,000, that's our biggest jump so far. And then, of course, we jumped in net assets there of $9 million. So they had a lot of money to spend, so there's lots of trades today. And so I guess let's just jump into that. I will point out an issue here on the trades if you're looking at the trades, and I won't go over any here because none of these are closed. But they did end up having 4 on here from dated yesterday. Okay, so if I unhide this, you can see, I just happened to see it, that some were dated the 8th when I was having to sort this and do it because they don't sort it by the stock. And so in order for me to group it, I have to reformat and resort everything. But in doing so, I saw these had the 8th on it, and I thought that was weird. So I waited till I got the holdings, and I verified, yeah, these are actually trades that happened yesterday. So I'm not sure why or how. This is the first time I've ever seen them leave trades on there from the day before. So in this case, I've just marked them red, and then I just clear out the total price so it won't be included on the holdings. And then I had to manually change the dollar amounts or the shares and holdings and stuff on here. So all this will match. But I'm going to scroll back to the top and go over this again. So yesterday we closed at 18. Today we closed at 17.87. So today we were down 13 cents. All right, so we're going to start with Biohaven, one of our new tickers or new stocks here. 473 contracts for the synthetic and short call positions. And then we talked about this earlier, but Biohaven Ltd, healthcare sector, biotechnology industry. They opened up a short call for next Friday with a strike price of $60. And we're currently below that strike price by 13%. And then just to go over this in case you don't know, for the synthetic position, in this case, is $45 for the strike price, and we are above that by 16%. So we want the stock price to be between the synthetic and the short call, for best optimal money earning. But so this one's obviously a perfect case. It's not going to be so perfect in some of these other ones because the synthetic positions are the longer positions, so they'll buy them out a month or two in advance, a month or two or so in advance. And so as the stock goes up or down, they may or may not close out those synthetic positions. So you can just see that in the next one, Clean Spark, that the synthetic and short call is exactly $17 for both of them. And that's just, due to the fluctuations, in the price. I will not go over the synthetic positions on here. You will see them here listed if you want to pause and look at them. But to save you time in me talking to you, because otherwise this would be an extremely long video if I read everything on here. I'm not going to worry about those because they don't expire for another 5 or so weeks. So we'll just be looking at the short calls today. And then this stock actually went up 1% today, or 57 cents. So we will move on to Clean Spark. They added 157 contracts to the existing short call and synthetic position. The short call expires Friday with the strike price of $17, and we're currently under that strike price by 10%, and it looks like the stock dropped by 3 cents today. And Coinbase, they added 15 contracts to the synthetic and short call, and that short call expires Friday with a strike price of $275. Currently 12% under that strike price, and it closed down 5% today. Carvana, they added 28 contracts to the synthetic and short call. The short call expires Friday with a strike price at $88, and we're currently 5% below that. And the stock was up 1% today. And if we go to EH, they added 97 contracts to the synthetic and the $21 strike price short call. That will expire next week, so we're currently 4% under that, but we also have a short call for $20 strike price, which we're 15 cents over at this point. But these are good until next week. So the stock did drop 15 cents today already. So Enphase, that's going to be a new one for ULTY. So Enphase Energy here, we have the technology sector, and the industry is solar. So 2 days back to back, we have 2 solar industries now, and the first ones of the bunch. But we have 206 contracts for Enphase, and then we have a short call that will expire Friday with a strike price of $127. And then I didn't cover this before. Well, I did another video, but here, usually we wouldn't have this many trades on today, Tuesday, but I guess with the significant jump of 550,000 shares, $9 million, they decided to go on a shopping spree. So that's why we have lots of trades today. So there's only a couple of these that don't have trades, just to let you know up front. But sorry about that in the middle of that. So Enphase, $127 strike price. It expires Friday. We're currently 4% under the strike price, but it looks like we did jump 6% today. GigaCloud Technology, they added 92 contracts to the existing short call and synthetic position. The short call does expire next Friday, has a strike price of $40, and we're 21% below that strike price. The stock did close down 6% today. Then we have HUT 8 with no trades. The short call expires this Friday with a strike price of $10, currently 14% below that strike price, and it dropped 4% today. Just if you don't know already, a lot of the Bitcoin stocks went up yesterday and then came back down today. Then we have ITCI. That was a new one as of yesterday. They added 33 contracts. The short call does not expire until next Friday. The strike price is $75. We're currently 9% below the strike price, and the stock went up 1% today. Move on to LabU, which is a biotech ETF. 16 contracts added to the existing short call and synthetic position. The short call does expire Friday with a strike price of $120, and we're currently 2% below that, and the stock came up 4% today. So we will see how that goes. Then we have Mara here. They have 398 contracts added to the short call and existing in synthetic. Short call does expire on Friday, has a strike price of $20, currently 10% below that strike price, and the stock went up 3 cents today. Mind Medicine, they added 353 contracts to the synthetic position and the short call with a strike price of $12. Both of these short calls will expire next Friday. The other short call has an $11 strike price, and we're underneath those by 9 and 16%. This stock did come down 8% today. If we go to MicroStrategy, they added 3 contracts to the existing short call and synthetic position. The short call expires this Friday with a strike price of $1,700, and we're currently 15% below that. And this stock dropped 5% today. NanoX Imaging, they added 257 contracts to the existing short call and synthetic position. Short call does not expire until next Friday with a strike price of $12.50. We are currently 14% underneath that strike price. And then that's just staggering looking at the synthetic position that it's 43% above the strike price. Like, that's crazy. If you cash that one out today, they'd bring in an extra $660,000. That's crazy. Anyway, moving on. And that stock dropped 1% today, and that was NanoX Imaging. Then we have Root here, no trades. They have a short call, though, that expires next Friday with a strike price of $85, currently 6% below that strike price, and the stock did come up 3% today. So then we have Solar Edge, which is new as of yesterday. We have 15 contracts added today to the synthetic and short call. Short call expires this Friday, has a strike price of $72, and we're already 9 cents over that strike price. The stock did jump 8% today, so roughly $5 there. SMCI, they added 4 contracts to the synthetic and short call positions. Short call expires this Friday and has a strike price of $960, and we're currently 6% below the strike price. The stock did drop 3% today. Vikings Therapeutic, they added 44 contracts. Sorry, I couldn't remember what I just read. So 44 contracts for the Viking Therapeutics added to the synthetic and short call. The short call expires this Friday with a strike price of $80, and we're currently 9% below that strike price. The stock did fall 4% today. VRT is a new one as of last week. We have 39 contracts added to the existing synthetic and short call. Short call will expire this Friday with a strike price of $86. We're currently 5% below the strike price, and the stock dropped 3% today. Then we have Wayfair here with 32 contracts. added to the synthetic and short call. Short call will expire this Friday with a strike price of $69, and we're currently 4% underneath that, and it came up 1% today. So we basically went through all of the trades and the holdings there, and we went through here and we went through here. So just a reminder here, we have the declaration date is the 16th, which is next Tuesday. The ex-dividend date will be Wednesday the 17th, and the payment date will be Friday the 19th. All right, hopefully this recording saved and I can do the daily, because I did not do that one first, but I'll do the daily roundup as well for those that prefer or like to also watch that one. Thank you.